Hey everybody, it's van time with Chuck and Deb, and we got a nice sunny day, and today we're going to be talking about the roles of moms when they have kids and what is their role in ministry. Alright, hun, so we had young kids growing up, and you were knee-deep in the ministry, but there were some challenges or some things that we had to work through as a young family. What were some of those things, and how did you work through them?
Well, I think, when you have young kids, being on a schedule is pretty important. So a lot of times I couldn't be at things, especially if they were outside the house, or I had to miss things that were happening on in our house because of bedtimes or other things. So I think that's just a reality of that stage of life when you have younger kids, and it is just a stage.
One of the things that we did to really multiply our time and our efforts is we always had something going on in our home, so that the family, Deb and the boys, could always participate if it was, the right time of day and things like that. And we tried to work that out.
I mean, sometimes it's appropriate to have kids in the group, but other times it's really distracting and difficult. And when Chuck was going to school and we had no money, but we made it a priority to get a sitter, and we just would all pool to help pay for it, and so that I could get the time with the other adults, for the fellowship. And usually we try to have our gatherings, our meetings in the homes of the families who had the youngest kids. They have to put them to bed or whatever, or are not able to get childcare.
If you're doing church without your family, your kids, your wife, they're really missing out on a lot. And so what we try to do is try to do it as a family unit. That's something that we're figuring out in the past couple of years. Hon, talk about how we've discovered some of these things and what we're seeing.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times the kids can really be involved, especially in worship and some of the different elements that we do in church. There are other times where, like wherever the gathering is, that they let the kids go in a room at a certain point and watch a special video or something. Or one of the adults will go in with the kids and do something. But because of our, if you're doing church in smaller quantities of people, I think you can get much more creative with your solutions, because there are going to be as many kids a lot of times. Like in our church, we have one family that has children, so we meet at their house and they're able to put kids to bed, and the other children that are older can be a part of what's happening. Even though they might not be engaged, they're in the same room and they're playing, and everybody's fine with that. It's not a distraction. And
so we're doing our best to include everybody in church and training and House of Peace search, those types of things.
There's the element of, if you have like older kids or teenagers, sometimes they can help watch the younger kids and be involved in ministry in that way, like even.
Or you can even rotate parents around, so that way one person isn't watching the kids every time. So
I think another thing too that we discover when we're meeting together in churches and dealing with children, it's like you see a lot of discipline issues come up, and parenting issues coming up and behavior things. So in some ways, it's almost like you are kind of opening up yourself to being discipled by the community and how to raise your children as well. And I mean, there are times where kids are kids, but if there are things that are happening over and over and over again, that gives the community a chance to help and instruct, so that those parents will maybe be able to get a handle on some of the things that they don't see or they don't realize are happening.
So if you have ideas or things that you're doing that integrate your kids and moms especially into church, into what you're doing in ministry, just put it in the comments below and give us some of those good ideas. Hey, if these are helpful, pass them on to your friends. Consider subscribing to the channel. And until next time, keep making disciples until there's no place left. We're trying to make ministry as friendly family and family friendly